George's on Vista is the local bistro at Fraser Rise in Caroline Springs, situated at the George Cross Soccer Club at City Vista Reserve. With the current COVID-19 pandemic, we've adjusted our menu and our business times. You can now get takeaway Friday and Saturday nights between 5 p.m to 7:30 p.m. You can phone your order through on 7021 0555 Friday and Saturday nights between those times, or you can pre-order your meals by emailing info@georgesonvista.com.au. But orders must be received by 5 p.m. on the day required. Check out our full menu and weekly specials on our website, georgesonvista.com.au. Get behind local business and order your next takeaway dinner from George's on Vista, 46 City Vista Court, Fraser Rise, in the heart of Caroline Springs.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great edition of the Football Out West show. It's going to be a ripper show tonight. It is going to be a George Cross themed show tonight. And it is going to be, I tell you what, one hell of a great show. So I can't wait for it. Make sure to strap yourselves in and stay for the duration of this show. And have I got a surprise for you folks? By the way, my name is Tonci Prusak, if you're tuning in for the very, very first time. And introducing our guest for tonight, a special guest. No, it's not Craig Filer. It's Steve Curtin.
Surprise.
Good evening, Steve. Well, we have mentioned it in some of our other shows that unfortunately Craig is not busy tonight. Special cheerio to Barry Filer, Craig's dad, who's tuning in all the way over from the UK. Baz, sorry, mate. Your son's not going to be appearing tonight. He has got other commitments. Standing me down like that. No, actually, he's been relegated to the substitutes bench because, quite frankly, his performance lately has been very, very poor, and he keeps on blaming the internet. Now, Steve, your internet is quite good, isn't it?
Well, I've actually just had the technician in today to sort out my NBN, so fingers crossed this is the real acid test tonight on the Football Out West show, which, of course, it is a pleasure to be back on for the first time in quite a while as a co-host. So
yeah, absolutely. So
I must have done a good job on Sunday night with my being the draw, involved in the draw for the quiz, the Hopheads Football IQ-Quiz. So,
speaking of the Hopheads IQ-Quiz, yeah, that's going to be starting on Sunday, 7 o'clock on the Football Fan Zone. Now, folks, you do not want to miss this. The game one, the opening game, Sebastopol Vikings taking on Williamstown. And then the following week, on Thursday, next Thursday, will be game 2 as well. So, look, you don't want to miss this. This is a great concept. Special shout-out to Hopheads out in Point Cook and in Altona. They will be sponsoring the IQ quiz. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go out and say it's going to be a rip snorter over the next 16 episodes. You don't want to miss it. So, yeah, absolutely. That's going to be awesome. Cannot wait, Steve. But tonight, I'll tell you what, there's going to be some really, really interesting things happening, isn't there? Well, first of all, let's talk about some of our guests, eh?
Yeah, that's right, mate. We've got some good guests coming in tonight. In fact, great guests, because we've got four guests. And we'll kick off the list of names there from Caroline Springs, George Cross. It is the president, Mark Sultana, General Manager LIZA DJURIC, Technical Director Jorge Gero, and first-year parent JIHANNE Anastasasiadis, talking about her family's experiences at the club. So there you go, 4 of the best from Caroline Springs. Looking forward to it, Tonci.
Yeah, no, it should be an absolute fantastic. Like we said, it's going to be a really, really good show. To all the George Cross fans, supporters out there, tune in because tonight you'll hear all that's been happening behind the scenes at George Cross. Yes, the coronavirus is taking its toll on everyone, but, you know, We can't let it beat us. We're going to beat it. And tonight it's all about George Cross and finding out what the good folk down at City Vista Reserve are doing behind the scenes. So we've got some great guests tonight. Really looking forward to talking to JIHANNE Anastasasiadis. I hope I've said that correctly. Because she's a first-year parent, or her boy, I think his name's Nicholas, has just joined the under-8s down there. So as a first-year parent, we're really going to be interested in hearing from her. George Gero. Now, George is a good friend of this show. The technical director who's got extensive experience. Man, he's very, very much the man in the know. And I'm sure he'll have some interesting stuff to tell all the kiddies, regardless if you're from George Cross or not, and parents of kiddies as well. So do tune in for that. That's going to be a very, very special chat a little later on. But mate, how have you been? Since we last caught up last night with the Western United pre-game preview and the Western United, or the A-League pre-game preview and the A-League post-game review. Great little concept. We'll be back on deck on Saturday night, won't we?
Yeah, we'll be back on Saturday at 4:30. So, yeah, we'll be in the afternoon for the first time, I guess, getting ready for that game where Sydney FC will be looking to lift the Premier's plate against West United. But hopefully United can spoil the party of the Premier's plate winners. What do you think?
I think Western United have got a lot more at stake, in the sense that they've secured sixth spot, obviously, but they can get as high as third, depending on what happens tonight, by the way. Anything can happen there. So, look, they got to win Sydney FC. They got to beat Melbourne City, not only, obviously, to try and get as high up the ladder as possible, but also to maybe really cement that in-form status at the moment. Going into the finals, they can pull off quite a few upsets, that's for sure. But, mate, we're going to talk about that in the news desk coming right up. So I'll let you step away for a second and get yourself ready. And, you're tuning into the Football Out West show. It's episode 36, sorry. Don't go away. We've got Steve in the news desk.
To the news desk for Thursday, the 13th of August, 2020. And we'll kick off tonight with the statement from Football Federation Australia yesterday, where we were informed by the Federation through the AFC that the upcoming qualifying matches for the FIFA 22 World Cup and the AFC Asian Cup 23, originally scheduled to take place during the international window in October, November, will be rescheduled to 2021. Discussions had been held with the West Australian government to play the Socceroos qualifier against Kuwait that had been originally scheduled for March 2020 to instead play in October window in Perth due to the ongoing COVID-19 situation. The match will now be delayed with the venue and the date to be determined. FFA will make a further announcement on the new dates for the World Cup 2022 and Asian Cup 2023 qualifiers when they are known, but they will not be happening this year. Now, moving on to the A-League, as we just mentioned, the region's A-League club, Western United, has marched into the top 6 last night with goals either side of half-time to Bessart Barisha, proving enough to get over Perth Glory 2-0 at Parramatta's Bankwest Stadium. United will now face Premier's Plate winner Sydney FC at 5 p.m. on Saturday at Leichhardt Oval. In the second match of last night's double header, another Victorian club in Melbourne Victory went down to Western Sydney Wanderers 2-1. Andrew Naboo got on the score sheet for the victory in his final game before shifting across the Nullarbor, while the Wanderers, it was former Swiss international Pirim Schwegler, capping his final game of professional football with a first half goal before midfielder Jordan O'Doherty doubled the tally on 62 minutes. Victory finished the season in 10th place on the table, while Wanderers will finish in either 8th or 9th, depending on the result between Newcastle and Wellington tonight. That match kicking off at 7:30 at Jubilee Stadium, and the league table there is on your screen. As you can see there, Victory in 10th place. Below them is they are not rooted to the bottom, though, because the Mariners are one place below them in 11th. And, the Wanderers there, they're going to end up in 9th, according to that ladder.
Yeah. Well, look, the good thing there is Western United, they've got 2 games in hand against the 2 toughest teams, obviously. But
that was before the match last night. That's why.
Yeah. But so look, this is that's exactly right. This was before the match last.
The Wanderers are currently in 8th.
Yeah. So Western United. The important thing there is the top 6. If they pull off 2 wins there against 2 teams, Sydney FC, like I said, is a team that have been struggling at the moment in form in recent weeks. But then they really need to get into top form now, heading into the finals. Melbourne City have been exceptionally good, except for their second half against Adelaide United the other night. But if Western United can pull off 2 wins, they'll jump from 36 to 42 points, and 2 points behind second. 2 points behind second place Melbourne City, and in third spot. What a remarkable achievement that would be if they can pull it off.
Yeah, exactly. Hats off to all involved.
Yeah, and then there are the obviously the remaining games. Western Sydney Wanderers and Melbourne Victory. That game was played last night. So tonight we've got Newcastle Jets and Wellington Phoenix. So obviously it could be interesting what happens there. But Steve, we've got some footage. This is from Western United's dressing room last night. Take a listen to this. A lot of fun there. A lot of look. All jokes aside, it certainly looks like it is an absolutely awesome dressing room at the moment. Very, very, very positive. Alessandro Diamanti there leading the chanting and the singing, but it certainly looks like it's a team that could go all the way, and all the rhetoric coming out of the camp, particularly the coaches saying, they're the form team, they can beat anyone, they're not afraid of anyone. Rudan has said that in the press recently. Even Besart Berisha's post-match press conference, if you like, or post-match talk with Tara Rushton post-game on the sidelines there for Fox Sports, very positive, very buoyant, very confident as well, and it's the team spirit that seems to be overriding everything. So definitely the team to watch out. Hey,
yeah, you're right, mate. I think being in the hub maybe has even brought them closer together, but certainly in a competition such as the A-League, where it is a salary cap-based competition, things are equalised a lot more than the European leagues, and things like dressing room spirit can be the difference between taking home the silverware and missing the finals.
Yeah.
And it looks like they've got that in spades at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, moving along, what else?
All right, let's talk about this morning's Champions League. So this morning's UEFA Champions League ended in late joy for Paris Saint-Germain with a 90th minute goal to Marquinhos and another injury time goal to Eric Choupo-Moting, ensuring a come-from-behind 2-1 win over sentimental favourite Atalanta, who had opened the scoring through Croatian midfielder Mario Pasalic on 26 minutes. So they go through to the next round with these matches all being played over one leg. That is PSG. And the remaining fixtures will continue on from tomorrow at 5 a.m. It is RB Leipzig versus Atletico Madrid. On Saturday, the big one, Barca versus Bayern. Make sure you set your alarm clocks for that one. And Sunday, it's Man City, Lyon. So 3 interesting ties coming up there, and looking forward to some excellent Champions League football over the weekend, Tonci.
Yeah, definitely. Some really, really exciting games, some very good games. As you said, the pick of the bunch, definitely Barcelona and Bayern. But the other two, without a doubt, that they're going to be cliffhangers just as much. Quickly, just looking at the Europa League as well. So if we just turn our attention there to the Europa League, we've got some of the games that have been played earlier this week. Inter Milan defeating Leverkusen 2-1. Man United over Copenhagen 1-0. Yesterday we had Shakhtar Donetsk over Basel 4-1, and Sevilla defeating Wolves 1-0. So the semi-finals there, early Monday morning, Sevilla and Man United, and then early Tuesday morning Australian time, Inter Milan and Shakhtar Donetsk. So so there's going to be a few interesting games happening there as well, Steve.
That's right, mate. And if you're an early riser there, I see if you're up at 5 a.m., you can be up in 5 mornings in a row to watch 5 top class games.
How good is that? How good is that? Seriously.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And even with the A-League at the moment, most nights there've been games. And all right, we're now coming towards the business end of the season, but dead set, if you wanted to be in lockdown and couldn't do anything, couldn't go anywhere, this is an armchair sportsman's absolute paradise. And look, the EPL is going to be starting off early next month, I think, as well. So, before too long, there won't be too much of a break. So it's certainly what you want, isn't it?
Absolutely, mate. For everyone in stage 4, particularly restrictions, doing the right thing, the best thing you can do to help the state and help everyone in your community stay home and watch top quality football. And I think actually Optus Sports have provided, if you don't have it, they provided a complimentary access to watch these Champions League games, which is absolutely fantastic, actually. So if you don't have Optus Sports at the moment and you are in Victoria, check out the details. I'm sure that you can find the links and get that sorted, and you can enjoy some top quality football. If you do want to sleep in, of course, you can watch those games on demand at any time that you like. So
yeah,
couldn't think of anything better. Yeah.
It's not the same though. You want to watch it live, isn't it? When you watch it on demand, you get on social media and you straight away someone's posted the scores or someone's tweeted or texted you or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? It's there's still that romance of getting up in the middle of the night and watching it live. And if you don't have to rush off to work or anything like that, can't go wrong. That's exactly what you want. But moving right along, last but not least, where we're changing continents and jumping over the Atlantic Ocean and Major League Soccer. Tell us more.
That's it, mate. Heading from Europe across the Atlantic, we are looking at the MLS Back Tournament final, and Portland Timbers have taken out the 51-game MLS Back Tournament yesterday with a 2-1 win over the side of Portuguese international winger Nani, Orlando City, at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex in Florida. All those matches played on that hub pitch there. Mauricio Pereira with the goal for Orlando, while for the Timbers, it was their 2 central defenders, Larry Marbiglia and Dario Zuparic, scoring the decisive goals.
Now, we've got a little bit of footage here. This will be the Portland Timbers when they were lifting the trophy. So we'll play that.
Foreseeable future. But these Portland players know exactly what this will mean to the supporters watching on with such pride back home, 3,000 miles away in Oregon. MLS is back, and nobody can topple the Timbers. The Rose City revels in a significant success for Giovanni Savarese's side. Portland too powerful in progressing all the way through this historic competition. They leave Orlando with that trophy and a place in next season's Champions League. Well earned, David Prutton.
There you
mate.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, jinx, as they say, we said it at the same time. Now,
We've seen too much of each other.
The question there is, how many face masks remained on covering their mouths after that jump up and down, starting with the captain right at the start? I don't think too many masks were left around their mouths, that's for sure.
No, but it's the time we live in now. It used to be you would print champions T-shirts. Now you're printing champions face masks. Who would have thought that you couldn't have believed that if someone had told you that 6 months ago? Just no chance.
No, absolutely.
And also just on that COVID-19 note, active cases of COVID-19 decreased today by 16 in Wyndham and by 7 in Brimbank and 7 in Geelong. So overall, I believe over 200 new cases, but there is some cause for optimism for people in the West where it's been badly affected. Hang in there.
Yeah.
The tables are turning.
Yeah, that's what we'd like to think. Okay, well,
positivity to end the news.
It's a nice positive note there. Yeah. Now, don't go away. We're going to be joined on the other side of the break by the president of the George Cross Football Club, Mark Sultana. You're tuning into episode 36 of the Football Out West show. And whilst you're listening to the messages from our sponsor, also contemplate on becoming a member of the Football Out West show. Show your support, become a member. There's the website, www.patreon.com/Football Out West show. A big cheerio to all of our members as well. And don't go away, Mark Sultana coming up shortly.
George's on Vista is the local bistro at Fraser Rise in Caroline Springs, situated at the George Cross Soccer Club at City Vista Reserve. With the current COVID-19 pandemic, we've adjusted our menu and our business times. You can now get takeaway Friday and Saturday nights between 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. You can phone your order through on 7021 0555 Friday and Saturday nights between those times, or you can pre-order your meals by emailing info@georgesonvista.com.au. But orders must be received by 5 p.m. on the day required. Check out our full menu and weekly specials on our website, georgesonvista.com.au. Get behind local business and order your next takeaway dinner from George's on Vista, 46 City Vista Court, Fraser Rise, in the heart of Caroline Springs.
Hello, welcome back to the Football Out West show. I'm joined here by my co-host, Steve Curtin. Steve, how are you? Ooh, look at my hair. my hat was falling off there for a second. Goodness me, everything's happening. Well, we're going to try and get Mark Sultana on the line. He's going to come on very, very shortly. Hopefully, we've got him on the line. Mark, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
I can hear you. Yep, you're there.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you hear him, Steve?
I can hear you, Mark. How you going?
Excellent.
Steve here.
Now, we haven't unfortunately got a proper visual, so we have got a beautiful photo there where you're all nicely dressed up.
Thank you.
I think that was I can't remember where that was, but it's a very good photo. You look very, very presentable. So, Mark, all jokes aside, it's great to have you on the Football Out West show. And so far, fingers crossed, we haven't had any major technical issues. And guess what? There's no Craig here. I wonder if that's a coincidence.
Well, no, hopefully not.
How have you been, mate? How's the COVID pandemic been affecting you?
Oh, look, it's really sad, really. I mean, we haven't been able to have any participation at the club. So, look, we just all got to do our bit and stay at home and get through this so that moving forward we can start playing football and, everyone come home and start enjoying training and everything. But, look, Lisa's doing a big job. George is interacting and doing his job still. We're all still trying to stay busy and make sure we can, still market our football club, and that's what we're doing. And it's programs like yours that gives us the ability to unite with our football club and all our members and fans out there, and we can do it through Football Out West is great. So it's a privilege to be able to talk about the club.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's a privilege to be able to provide this forum, and if it wasn't for the George Cross Football Club, so on behalf of Craig, Steve, myself, and everyone involved in the show, all the fans, all the viewers, a big thank you to you and to the club. And let's talk about the club behind the scenes. What's been going on? Has it just completely shut down? Apart from obviously the bistro, but or is there work happening behind the scenes? Tell us what's going on behind the scenes. And here's an opportunity to talk to all of the members and really have an address to all the members. So, mate, take it away.
Yeah, no, look, everything's still going on behind the scenes. Lisa and I and the board are working real diligently hard to open up on our takeaway night. So we're obviously going to open up on Friday and Saturday. Look, it keeps the chef employed and the bistro and the bar manager, Karina and Randy, are still employed, and so that's a good thing. And hopefully we'll, again, open up maybe even a few nights more. But that's one part of it. Again, from the junior side of things, George is still working behind the scenes, talking to the coaches. We've had 2 Zoom sessions with 2 different groups of coaches right through the club. And, that's been really good too. Everyone's still eager to get on the pitch, obviously, but we're just trying to interact through that. Again, Lisa, she does a great job. She's doing what she needs to do to make sure we're continually talking to everybody that's invested into George Cross and, dotting our I's and crossing our T's. But look, again, our club is a big family club, and unfortunately this week, over the last 2 weeks, we've had a couple of really long-standing members pass away, unfortunately, and I think it sort of brings it home how much of an impact this has had on the football club when people like Joe Bonnet and Tony Gretsch has passed away, unfortunately, through illness, and we don't get to express our sadness in any other way, rather just on phones or on Facebook and things like that. So you sort of tend to really sort of miss what a club sort of brings to so many of us out there. So Mark, on the screen we've got a photo of Tony Gretsch, the late Tony Gretsch, who was a great servant of the George Cross Football Club. And as Peter Couchy says, a big shout out to Anthony, Mark, and Robbie, who lost their father during the week. So this is a photo that was on the Caroline Springs George Cross Facebook page just earlier this week, today. Actually, when did he pass away? Yesterday. So you got Joe Bonnet, who's been a massive volunteer and supporter of the football club. And like I said, I'm only a new president, and to sort of then feel in the sense the
Joe
feeling
Bonnet,
it goes through the club when you lose such well-devoted people like that. So you get your highs and then you get your lows, and then you sort of have, again, the program like tonight where it's Georgie's, and we all want to be positive about things. And like I said, all the juniors are still engaging and things like that. Look, we're ready to go, guys. I mean, we're across, and we're well and truly organised to hit the ground running. And you can see by the response of all the people that have logged in tonight how many Georgie's fans are out there and members that are out there. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all our sponsors, previously and current. I mean, it's not just the current sponsors that we only promote in the fact that if it wasn't for the previous year sponsors, it gives us the ability to be a football club. So, it's times like this that you've got to thank them. They've been a very much an important part of the growth of our club in such a short period of time. I think, again, as a club, we believe we have a very strong brand, and our brand is to be able to provide football for all levels. And again, I think, like I said, this program gives us the ability to have a wonderful George Cross night, whether it's COVID-19 or the passing away of wonderful people of the football club. But look, we're all happy and again eager to get going.
Yeah, we are. We definitely want to touch on all the positives and all the happy stuff there. But I guess one last sad thing, I guess. Do we have any funeral details, or will there be an opportunity to watch any of the funerals online for George Cross members?
Yeah, I think with Joe Bonnets they did that. They posted it on the Facebook page as well. So I'm sure Lisa would probably get her head across how that happens. And generally, again, through Peter Cowkey and a lot of these people who, again, are just so invested in making sure that we are one still, fully united, happy family football club. So, again, it's part of the football club to, honour people like that, Tonci, to be quite frank. I mean, they get forgotten. And, I mean, again, it's really hard and quite sad that, we can't actually have a drink together and, and talk about the wonderful service these people give to the football club. So,
yeah, absolutely. Now, on a positive note, Steve, if you've got any questions, just jump in. But I've got this during the week.
I've been you for a while.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, mate.
Oh, great. Did you have a question you were about to say, Tonci? Or
oh no, look, I was just going to bring up this little snippet of history that was produced during the week, and Mark, you even I think reposted it on your Facebook page. But look at that! Look at that!
Yeah, how good is that?
The George Cross logo with the old BP. What was that? Were they the sponsor at the time? And tell us a bit of history about this logo. The old style football boot and the flag.
Yeah, I know. I was on Facebook and this popped up, and I'm thinking to myself, this club's been massive for such a long time. I mean, when you've got a sticker, I mean, how good's that? You've got a sports sticker, and it may have been BP may have sponsored the league. I'm not quite sure, but look again, we might get those stickers made and send them all out to our juniors. So you never know.
Brilliant. I remember as a kid, I used to get on my bike and ride around to different businesses, asking for stickers, having a sticker collection. And do you remember those days? Like most businesses used to have them, you used to put them on your bumper bar or what you're not, And when I looked at this, I'm from Geelong and I grew up in Geelong, but it brought me back to my childhood, and it was just absolutely gold. It really, really was.
I mean, sometimes you get scared asking for a sticker.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. But
again, Tonci, it's like how you recognise it. I mean, George Cross, like I said, I never realised how big and strong our brand is until obviously, landing as president of this football club. But I mean, I meet clients and that out through business and that, and they mention what he do. I said, look, I'm president of George Cross. George Cross, Sunshine George Cross, and again, for us, it's just about promoting what we do, and we're glad to be again back on the map, I suppose, if you can say that.
Yeah. Now, as obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, as Steve said earlier in the news desk, the numbers seem to be kind of, fingers crossed, flattening, and they seem to be going down. And assuming that, all the modelling, models and things, whatever they're saying by the end of the year, restrictions could be eased or this or that. Next year, there's talk that at George Cross, you'll be hosting an elite football event or something along those lines. Tell us a bit more about that, or what's on the cards with that.
Look, my opinion is football won't come back as it was, not until there's a vaccine. So I think we all got to be realistic about what we can and can't do as a football club. I think it's important, again, that a lot of these football clubs around our area really unite to try and, again, manage how we might be able to facilitate games and so forth for all our clubs. It's really important for football clubs to sort of think, well, have a look what's happening in New Zealand. I mean, they're back in lockdown in Auckland for 3 days, and they were pretty much 100% free of COVID-19. So, we've just got to be realistic about how we can come back and play football, really, to be quite honest. I really, hopefully we can have some type of crowds there. We can have our facility functioning in a way that it can have a COVID plan. What will that cost? I mean, there's so many variables, guys. I mean, you're out in Geelong and you guys wanted to have a bit of a league on your own, which was nearly taking off, and then bang, before you know it wasn't able to get going. So, you know, it's very difficult from an economic point in terms of the football clubs. Again, we're doing our best to keep everything open so that we can actually earn some income whilst Randy and Karina and George and all that are involved. I mean, but then again, we're lucky to have Western United, and how good's that too? You know, I mean, they're winning games, and you know, again, it's a profile for a great marriage there as well. I mean, I can't believe they're, you know, first year in and they're doing what they're doing, and you know, they're really part of that George Cross community, and you know, they're Western United, and again, I think that also gives our club the ability to try and plan on something that's quite different and try and use our club to be able to, you know, again, provide football for everybody involved, Tonci.
And it seems like such a long, long time ago that, you know, the first game that they ever played was there at George Cross in the middle of the week. 3,500 people turned up. It just seems like that was years ago. It's incredible to think it was just only, you know, not even a year ago, thereabouts, whatever. So,
pretty much. Yeah.
And if you had said then that the league was going to be so disrupted, and at the same time, if you had said then that Western United would be looking to possibly finish as high as third on the ladder at the end of the home and away season, you would have thought that person was nuts on both accounts, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I agree. And then, you know, before you know it, we're watching him on TV, and the brand of football in the A-League's been great, I reckon. But you know, look, again, it's important for the club. Look, we've got another program coming up again with the Georgie's theme shows, and for us, this is the only way I can actually, you know, say hello to all of our stakeholders, our fans, the kids, and everybody. I mean, you can do it through playing that, but this sort of gives me the ability to talk to them all out there, and you know, let them know that we're doing the best we can to get everybody on the pitch. I mean, I can't tell you how empty my weeknights are. I mean, some people say you spend too much time at the football club, but God, geez, when you lose it, you miss it. So
absolutely.
You know, it's part of it, really.
Yeah. Now, look, we're going to have a little bit of a surprise here for all George Cross members, supporters, players, parents as well. Thanks to LIZA DJURIC, who's coming up very, very shortly, the general manager. Here we go. These are photos taken earlier today. And look at that. Does the ground look like carpet or what? That is absolutely fantastic. And the sun's out. The ground's just looking absolutely fantastic. So we're certainly not putting up those photos to make you miss it even more. It's just saying that the pitch is there. It's welcoming. It's got its arms welcome. And even if you're not a member or player of George Cross, but you live in the near vicinity, once this is all done and dusted, I'm sure, guys, we'll be visiting George Cross, the complex there, the magnificent complex. And has much been done behind the scenes, or has anything been done around the ground to make it even better than it already is?
No, not really. Just all the graphical. It's pretty much all done. There's, you know, a lot of little bits and pieces of defects getting finished off by the builders. All the grass around the edges is all, and on the mounds have all grown and they're getting cut. So no, not a lot, Tonci. I mean, like I said, the fact that we can open up for takeaway is a good thing, because at least it keeps things rolling along in terms of the facility wise. So Lisa works there on the Thursday and takes, you know, again, look, it's just important for us to be able to say thank you to everybody that's patient at George Cross. I mean, we've really pushed it hard to, you know, play a massive part of Victorian football, and it's all what Eric, the senior coach, says to me: just kick the can down the road a little bit, and it'll finally come back. So you know,
absolutely.
I mean, we had Zoom meetings with his players and that, so forth, and we're talking about, you know, how do we retain our footballers, and so there is a lot going on, but we just can't action it at the moment. And again, by coming on here and having a chat to everybody, we can have a chat to everybody and say hello, and we're all still alive and we're all still missing the club, and hopefully we're back soon.
Well, Steve, we've got our next guest. So would you like to introduce our next guest? She's ready and waiting to come on. And Mark, stay on because we'll get you to stay on as well.
Thank you.
Okay, no worries, Tonci. Our next guest is General Manager of Caroline Springs, George Cross. It's LIZA DJURIC. Hello to you, LIZA.
And there she is. LIZA, welcome to the show. Great to have you on board, as is always the case. And thank you firstly for those photos. They look, on one hand, they're very depressing that we can't get there. It's missing it missing it a lot. Peter Couchy says, I miss it. Michael Mifsud says, miss it too. But at the same time, it's great to see that the complex is looking absolutely fantastic, and it's ready to go once the state says we're ready to come back to the place. But how have you been? How have you been coping with everything that's been going on?
Oh, look, I'm coping as well as I can. I think it was a little bit difficult to come back into lockdown because we sort of got everything prepared and we're really looking forward to some sort of season kicking off, and obviously we then moved into stage 4 and all that hard work sort of got pushed back. And I think now the reality is that there's not going to be a 2020 season, and I guess in some way that makes it a little bit easier for us and maybe for our members to sort of know that now we just focus on the new season, although we haven't officially received anything. In our view, pretty much we're starting to plan for 2021, and those pictures are great. I need to really shout out, I can see how many of our members are actually watching. Great that you're still supporting the club, and we really look forward to seeing you all back there once we're given the green light. And the synthetic pitch is looking just as green. So I shouldn't take a photo of those, but I really, really want to give a shout out to a couple of people that I get text messages during the week from random members that are lucky enough to live within the 5K of the venue, and they use the facility as a place where they can go and exercise, or an excuse to exercise. But at the same time, they're walking around, they're picking up empty bottles, they're picking up rubbish, and they text me and they tell me that they've been there and they've done a lap and they've cleaned up. And I went out.
Oh, hello. Oh, we've just lost LIZA.
So a big thank you to those people. I don't want to miss any names, but Mario, Peter, Phil, Paul from under 13s, anyone that's out there and doing their part, really looking after your club, it's really appreciated. And I was astonished when I went out there today and just saw that it's a pretty big haven for people dumping rubbish in the car park and stuff, but it was all tidy. So thank you to everyone that's made the effort.
And Maxi Santich was asking, why is the City Vista closed? What are they building now? To which Peter Couchy, and we'll put that up, said, Maxi, City Vista is not closed. The council is repairing the footpath outside the school. Okay, so the council's also doing a little bit of work there as well to beautify the whole area, which is fantastic, and can't wait for that to be done. Steve,
LIZA, so tell us a little bit about your general manager role, how it's going at the moment with the changes. Are you able to actually work from home in some capacity, or have you been getting down to the venue and taking some nice happy snaps regularly? How's it all been going?
So I do work from home. I come in on a Thursday usually to take deliveries for the bistro, because we need to do that. So most of my role has been working with all the different parts of our business, I guess. So it's not just football. So from a football part, working with George around planning for the 2021, working with the board around the current fee structure that we had and our costs, and just working through what that will look like so we can communicate to our members. stakeholder management, so working with Western United and Phil from Western United around their current training schedule and their future training schedule, and working with our ground maintenance people. So we as you can see, the ground is still being maintained. So we catch up regularly. We talk regularly on the phone. Today went out, did a bit of an inspection, and it's just about that sort of readiness and ongoing maintenance to make sure that every aspect of our business is ready to go once we can.
I guess this is a question either to you, Mark, or to Liza, either of the two. But what's the latest from Football Victoria as far as, the talk of refunds? I know a lot of members will probably be very keen to find out about that. But obviously we know if Football Victoria are operating on a very shoestring staff or skeleton staff at the moment. Has that been temporarily put on hold whilst we've had this lockdown, stage 4 lockdown, or has there been any movements as far as, refunds for the season?
Well, I think there's a few aspects of refunds. So there's the club portion. So as a club, we currently are reviewing that. We're reviewing our costs. And then there's the Football Victoria part. So for us, it breaks into two. So there's community and there's NPL costs. So we've had communication, or we had an initial meeting with Football Victoria about the costs and their refund policy for community, where they were just asking us questions. They need to get back to us with how they want to approach that. And we are expecting to receive an invite for a meeting to discuss NPL fee policy refunds, but we haven't yet heard anything on that front yet. So,
Mark, do you know anything other than that? Or have you been speaking to members themselves? Are they impatient? Are they happy just to sort of roll it over into next year and get it credited? What's the feeling out there amongst the members?
Oh, look, again, it's testament to the football club and how united it is. We've had really nobody come to us demanding refunds. There's just been some issues in terms of the clarity with some people, but certainly not any demands for refunds. Again, look, Lisa, albeit Lisa and George, and you can just see how professional Lisa applies herself to understanding, again, the real core issues with football clubs. And to be quite honest, with George and Lisa involved, and again, they're employed full-time to be able to, again, facilitate that path and give clarity to the members. But I've got to say to you, the members have all been great and really just eager to get back to the club. Yes, we do have a duty of care to understand what refund policies may apply and how do we apply them. As a board, we've already discussed issues in terms of how to move forward. And again, for us, please be known that for us, it's all about retaining all our participants. And if you were to take everybody involved and all their families, it would be probably close to 1,000 participants at the football club on and off, but throughout the whole year. And that's not even including the fact that we have Western United there, and also we had the Calder women's team training there whilst they were able to get there before our area was shut down. But I mean, again, when you interact with so many people like that, our juniors and all the NPL boys, girls, and all the community clubs, they have the ability to strive to be able to play for any part of these parts of our football club that we seem to be united with quite strongly. So I would hope to think that the club's policy would be to be quite clear about how we would like to retain them moving forward, and I'm sure Lisa will come up with a feasible option to try and make sure that we can execute that correctly, Tonci. So
Yep, no, absolutely, and I think that's that kind of transparency from a club that you guys are portraying is, I think, exactly what majority of football people wanted from Football Victoria earlier in the piece. And as Maxi Sentich, who's involved with St Albans, says, would rolling funds over into next season be an option where the club and player both win? And I think majority of football people are happy for their memberships either to be rolled over into next year, or their refunds to be rolled over into next year, or to just be held with the club for the time being. I think it's what people want to know is just that transparency of what is being done. And as we can see, hats off to both you and Liza, because you can see that you guys are doing something behind the scenes. And I think that is generally very, very much appreciated by members. And I'm sure other clubs that are tuning in and listening to this are probably in the same boat as well.
Yeah, look, again, I think sometimes as a football club, and the fact that you look at it, and I think Lisa again summed it up so correctly, that we're so many businesses involved in our football club. I mean, each child, parent that owns a stake of this football club and entrust us to look after, and it's the best way possible. And again, clarity is the number one key, and transparency, certainly from the board's part, is very much that. I mean, sometimes you get questioned why you would employ full-time football people to run a football club. And I've got to say to you guys, and I'm not just saying this because Lisa's on or George will be on or any of them will be on. And we've got Jan coming on, who, again, a first-year participant of this football club. But God help George Cross if we didn't have all these things in place. I think the fact that we're able to still, again, sponsor programs like this. I mean, Steve's got his gig tonight, and he can enjoy the Georgie's program. And the fact that we're able to still, sponsor you guys and try and keep our family together by using, again, portals like this. So, again, I say, massive, massive thank you to everybody involved. The whole team has really stayed strong, and it's important that other football clubs can learn from, again, some of the things that we do, and it was all about trying to unite the football club, and doing that, you have people that give you clarity, and that's why you employed people like Lisa, George, and Randy and Karina. So hopefully longevity that comes through.
Yeah. Now, Lisa, you were about to say something, but before you do say something, your brother is actually involved down Geelong way. We know he's involved with the club down here, Drysdale. Big shout out. What's your brother's name?
Tony.
And I think he coaches the Drysdale under-14 girls, you're telling me. But that is a club that just, I think 2-3 weeks ago, Steve, if I'm not mistaken, they announced that they were going to straight away refund their club portion of the fees, and immediately and they got great accolades from not just Drysdale members but all around the shop. How's Tony? Does he often pick your brains for ideas and suggestions, or vice versa? Because Drysdale is quite a fourth, progressive club. Steve, is that the best way to describe him?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, but no, all jokes aside, they're a very good club, a very well organised club, albeit a smaller club than George Cross. But how's he finding things down at a club like Drysdale?
They enjoy the club down there, definitely. I've got 2 nieces and a nephew, so I think my nephew's given up this year, but my 2 nieces both play for Drysdale in the same team, and they enjoy it. They love the club down there, and they're happy playing. They're disappointed now because they've got into stage 3 lockdown, and I'm no longer envious of his weekly post.
Yeah, it was really. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. It was almost like it was teasing us, like the football gods were teasing us and said, you can have 3-4 weeks, but then after that, we're going to take it away. And I'm sure the girls would probably, and Tony would probably attest to this. Just as the kids were starting to gel and they were starting to really hit their straps, all of a sudden we get hit with stage 3.
He's got to put himself a boat now, so I think he can still fit in Geelong.
Yeah.
So.
But look, we're going to have George Gero, who's the technical director, and JIHANNE Anastasasiadis, a first-time parent, joining us a little later on in the show. But firstly to you, Liza, any last comments for any of the members that are tuning in tonight?
No, but just, look after your family, stay safe and stay positive. And I've seen that a lot of the coaches have started to re-engage their groups, which is fantastic, on the back of our Zoom meetings that we had with them. And hopefully, in a few more weeks, we'll get some positive news about the easing of restrictions. And, you know, as we did last time, the minute we're given the green light, we'll have you all back.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. Liza, thanks very much for joining us tonight. Mark, any final messages from the president to the membership and to the wider football community?
No, again, like Lisa said, stay safe and stay strong. And again, thank you very much. It's again testament to the football club, and I miss them all, and I miss the club, and I miss going to the juniors and watching the seniors train and women's teams. We all were ready to go, but look, guys, thank you very much for supporting the club. Again, for us, we will be back, and we'll be back extremely strong. And again, we've got to say thank you to, you know, the council, and there's so many people that are helping us out at the moment. It's amazing. So it's important to, again, acknowledge all of that help. And then, you know, you would be nothing without the council support. It's been a real strong support program from everybody that's involved. And I just want to say a massive thank you to the sponsors, the fans, the members, and to your program for allowing us to have what we have and do what we want to do. So thank you very much, everyone.
Before we let you go, mate, here we go. We've got a special person listening in tonight. Councillor Steve Abbs, the Deputy Mayor, City of Melton. He says, hello, Liza and Mark. Go Caroline Springs, George Cross. A great councillor of the local municipality, and also a good friend of the show as well. So once again, Mark, thank you for joining us. Really, really appreciate it, and looking forward to once this is all done and dusted, to be able to have an outside broadcast from the fantastic City Vista Pavilion Bistro there, and then we'll definitely have a beer or 3 or 10.
I will, and I'll help you shout. I'll shout them all for you, mate. I can't wait. So, again, enjoy the next two guests. They're again, George. You know, George, good friend of your show, and very, very, very great TD. And then you've got Jan, who's a great supporter of the club right throughout membership, and her kids. So, again, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to everyone for supporting us. Thank you.
Absolutely.
George's on Vista is the local bistro at Fraser Rise in Caroline Springs, situated at the George Cross Soccer Club at City Vista Reserve. With the current COVID-19 pandemic, we've adjusted our menu and our business times. You can now get takeaway Friday and Saturday nights between 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. You can phone your order through on 7021 0555 Friday and Saturday nights between those times, or you can pre-order your meals by emailing info@georgesonvista.com.au. But orders must be received by 5 p.m. on the day required. Check out our full menu and weekly specials on our website, georgesonvista.com.au. Get behind local business and order your next takeaway dinner from George's on Vista, 46 City Vista Court, Fraser Rise, in the heart of Caroline Springs.
Welcome back to the Football Out West show. Absolute pleasure to have you all on board. It is going to be, we're only at halfway mark as far as our guests, Steve, but great listening to the president, Mark Sultana, and equally great listening to the general manager, LIZA DJURIC. They had so much to talk about, and look, just judging by the comments from the comments stream tonight, lots and lots of George Cross members, but also members from other clubs as well. And if you are a member from another club, do give us a shout out. Which club are you from? How are things at your club? Pop it down in the comment section, because a lot of the stuff that Mark and Liza did say tonight certainly pertains to a lot of other clubs. In particular, the bit about the refunds policy. And mate, it was great to see hear from Mark that a lot of members simply have not even bothered, to ask. It's something that at the moment there's probably more pressing things to worry about, and it just shows you what sort of supportive members George Cross Football Club has.
Yeah, absolutely, Tonci. And you have to say that you couldn't find a better more well-spoken couple of club representatives there than Lisa and Mark. So I think if I was involved with the Caroline Springs George Cross, I'd feel extremely proud to be part of a club that is so well represented, well spoken, and there's some real sources of optimism there at the moment. So it's a great pleasure to have both of them on the show tonight. Really enjoyed hearing from them. I feel a bit inspired myself, and we're ready for our next two guests.
Absolutely. Speaking of inspirational guests, well, the next one, he's a man of great knowledge, a man of great inspiration as far as the football department goes, and he's certainly one of the biggest assets there at George Cross by a mile. And we're talking about the technical director, George Gero. We're going to bring George straight onto the screen. And George, welcome to the Football Out West show. In fact, welcome back to the Football Out West show. It's always a pleasure to have you, my friend. How are things with you?
Yeah, good evening, Tonci and Steve. Good to be on the show, and good to see all our members as well, and good to hear from Liza and Mark. But yeah, all is well my end, apart from not having a haircut since March. I'm starting to rock a little bit of a 1970s rock band look at the moment. So,
well, here's a little secret. I got a haircut today. And now, the receding hairline's starting to look even more receding. So I'm wearing a captor. I actually started looking like Craig. That scared the hell out of me. So I thought, keep your hair while you've got it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it's keeping me a bit warm for the winter anyway. So
yeah, absolutely. George, apart from obviously the scruffy looks and what you're not, we did see pictures that Liza sent earlier today, and we'll actually bring that up. Why not? We'll do that again. There's a photo of the ground as we speak. It looks just immaculate. Just looks, you want to pull on the boots when you see that. But mate, it's been a topsy-turvy year. It really, really has. From your point of view, obviously the challenge of keeping your coaches engaged, the players engaged, the club ticking over, and what you're not. Yeah, tell us. What are some of the strategies you've employed to try and maintain some form of normality and at least a degree of enthusiasm at the club?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, firstly, in regards to the pitch, looking at that makes you want to come out of retirement and pull the boots back on, but I'm not sure the hamstrings will be happy with that. But yeah, I've contemplated having a bit of a run this year, but obviously with everything that's happened, that never came to fruition. So yeah, hopefully when we do get back, I might jump in with the Metro team and do a few sessions. But look, in regards to the keeping everyone engaged and the coaches and the players and the parents, look, firstly, our coaches have done a pretty amazing job through the first lockdown and now the second lockdown. The first lockdown, I feel there was still quite a lot of energy from everyone because it was all new, and we all started to move towards the utilization of Zoom sessions and different sort of online engagement activities that coaches were engaging in with their teams, and they were great. And then it was excellent to obviously get back on the park when we had those 5 or 6 weeks where we're all back in action. Not going to lie, I think when lockdown 2.0 came in, I think it was very deflating. Having put all that work in to get to that point, and to be literally a week or two out from games starting again was definitely deflating for myself, and I know for sure it was the same for the coaches and the kids and the parents all involved. So initially with lockdown 2.0, took a little bit of time out in the first week or so just to sort of recalibrate a little bit, and I think the biggest one from there on in has been literally, I think, just keeping everybody, looking after everyone's mental health, really, to be honest. So that's probably the massive one this time round. We have sent out a training program to each of the coaches, and which have then been forwarded on to the kids. And we are following the good work that FV are doing with the SAP program and implementing that home program. So that's been really good. But look, I do know, having spoken to quite a few players and parents, that, there is definitely a bit of a lack of motivation out there at the moment, which I think is probably understandable, given, where we're all at, and given the fact that a lot of them have to sit, in front of a computer all day at school and, doing your sort of online school sessions, which I know a lot of parents are happy playing the role of teacher at home at the moment. Which I've tried to keep a positive spin on. I've told the parents that at least they get to graduate from primary school again. So
That's one way of looking at it.
It's not a bad thing for them. Yeah, look, I think it's really just centered around mental health, to be honest. And just really trying to ensure that we're reaching out, and the coaches have done a really good job in sort of touching base with everyone just to make sure that everyone's okay. And that's something that I sort of highly, encourage within the club, and obviously, externally as well, really, in all our lives. Because, this time round, I think, the second lockdown will probably hurt quite a few people.
Yeah.
And we need to sort of support each other. So, that's probably been the main focus, I'd say.
Now, George, how does the chain of communication all work? Obviously, you send out programs to your coaches and they pass them on to the players from the respective teams. Do the actual players themselves and their parents or senior players contact you as well for feedback or advice, and you get in touch with them independently of their coaches as well?
Yeah, look, it's an open door policy, Steve, to be honest. So generally the information comes through, myself, and filters down to the coaches and then through to the players. But, ultimately, it's structured that way, but it's not a fixed structure. So if any, players or parents, want to reach out and have a conversation, they're more than welcome to do so at any stage. That's certainly something that I welcome. And I have spoken to, a number of players and parents during lockdown as well. So, look, we're quite open in that regard. They all know how to get in touch, and, if there's anything that we can assist, that's what we're there for.
Yeah, now, mate, obviously, Football Victoria have pretty much said that, 2020 season is done and dusted. Unlikely that that's going to happen. But there's always been talk about some sort of a modified competition or competitions or whatever the case may be. From your club's point of view, is George Cross planning with or without FV going ahead? Are you planning having your own, I don't know, mini tournaments, or whether that be a junior level or senior level? Because we did hear Lisa say, the moment we're ready to come back, we'll be coming back. So, obviously with training and things like that. You've got those magnificent facilities there with multiple pitches, the synthetic ones included. Is that a possibility that we may see, summer invitational tournaments, cups, et cetera, assuming we're not in lockdown any longer?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're geared to start back up any way possible, really. So if there is guidance from FFV or instruction from FV rather to say that we're going into some sort of games, in October, November, December, then we're ready for that. We can jump into that. Our coaches have been, informed about that, and they're obviously ready for that as well. But also, if that doesn't happen, then, there are certain things that we've looked at from a tournament perspective to host at our club. Gala days or mini sort of cup tournaments, whether they run over, more like the good old days, the old round robin type scenario, where you might play 3 different teams in a day, or, 5 teams over a weekend. That's something that would certainly consider. Look, all those things are in the background being looked at. I guess at this point in time, we just can't really put any timelines on it or dates really, and that's the difficult thing. But look, I can't thank the board enough, and also obviously Mark and Lisa, because they're supportive of those ideas and keen to get everyone to play again. Obviously the volunteers as well, they're all geared up to provide any support possible to get things like that up and running. Guys like obviously Peter Kalki and Phil and Sam Portelli and Michelle, they all do an amazing job. And I guess time will tell really what we can do and what we can't do. But yeah, we'd like to certainly play in some way, shape or form.
Chris Briffa asks a question. Tonci asks if they're having the Maltese Cultural Cup again. Will that be returning to George Cross, or will that be moving to another Maltese community-backed club?
Yeah, look, as far as I understand, that was looking at being an annual event.
Yeah.
So the structure of that was handled a little bit more by LIZA. So I'm not fully across as to what the plan is for 2021 with that, but I would certainly say that it would feature again. And we obviously had the senior men involved in that, and also the senior women. So, I think that will look to feature again, but, maybe growing that in the future to incorporate some sort of junior setup in that as well.
Fantastic. Steve?
Now, George, obviously professional development's a big part of the job as a TD for yourself. Is there anything that you're doing in particular at the moment, or is this second lockdown sort of been too much, or are you just watching the Champions League highlights and just enjoying the action there, or is there any advice you have for technical directors at other clubs during this time?
Yeah, look, I've certainly been watching the football. That's certainly been a nice outlet. I'm an Arsenal supporter as well, so I got to see us win a little bit of silverware. So yeah, no, it's been good to have that back. But look, for myself, there's always professional development. I'm currently doing my master's in coaching, so I've got another year to. Yeah, I've got another year to go on that. I'm about to commence my dissertation with that. So
where's that through? I think Steve, you were trying to ask that. Yeah, which institution is that through?
So yeah, I'm doing that through the University of Sydney.
Fantastic. That's brilliant.
So,
and is that specifically football coaching, or is that general sports?
So it falls under as a Master of Education with a specialisation in sports coaching. So you cover all sort of elements of coaching, such as sports science, sports psychology, S&C, performance analysis.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite intense, but I've really enjoyed it. There's been some really good units that have been very informative.
We could be calling you Dr. George in a few years' time if you decide to do a PhD, hey? That's fantastic. But look, I'm really intrigued by that, because I think with one of our previous guests, Ivan Jolic, there was a big thing that we said was, let's use this time to better ourselves or improve ourselves. And this is where the C license, the B license, the A license courses here in Australia should have some sort of an online element, because most subjects are, or most units, he actually mentioned his wife was doing an MBA completely online. What are your thoughts about the current coaching education as far as football in this country? And should we be moving with the times, i.e. offering, online elements instead of having to wait 6 months or 12 months for a course to come up in your area, only to be to be unavailable because you can't attend for whatever reason? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think it's all up for review, really, as much as everything is now during this COVID period. I think we've all, taken a step back to look over things, to see how things have been done. So I'm sure the guys at, FV and FFA are looking at that. I think there's definitely scope to potentially do modules online. I know there was something recently discussed from an FV perspective about doing, certain elements of the C license online and things that they're looking into in that regard. So
I think that would be absolutely brilliant. It really would, because what else? It's probably one way of particularly coaches, if nothing else, being able to maintain some sort of a connection with the sport, and using it in a productive way.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, with my masters, being that it's in Sydney, I do it all online. But what they do is you have, a certain 3 or 4 day block where you need to travel up there and you do a sort of condensed, 3 days where you go over a bunch of different things and you interact with the people on the course. So look, I think, there's certainly scope for that to happen within coach education here. Look, I'm actually in the middle of my A license at the moment. So, part 2 was actually meant to be in September, I think it was. In July. But obviously with COVID and everything, that's not happening. So, yeah, look, looking at it, there, certainly is an opportunity to do some online stuff to just keep us ticking over with that. Absolutely, I think there's, room for plenty to do in that space.
Yeah.
Very good. Earlier, your president, Mark Sultana, said he's enjoyed the standard of the A-League since it's resumed. Do you personally think it should shift into the winter time span? And I wonder what Mark's opinion would be as well, actually.
Yeah, look, I think alignment is probably a good thing. So, aligning with our MPL structure and our junior structure. Look, I know the big sort of questions around that, sometimes is where we'd be competing with, AFL and NRL and all the other sports in terms of, getting people to games. But look, at the end of the day, let's compete. So what are we afraid of in terms of competing? I think, we probably should move to a winter season. And I think what we probably need to do is create demand for our sport. So, playing games at Amy Park, although it's a great facility, I think we need to play games where, there's only a 5,000 seater capacity, for example, and you actually want people to miss out and not be able to get a ticket to get to the game, and run it in that format, for 3, 4, 5 years, really drive up that passion and demand and, that real want to try and get a ticket to the game, and then slowly start to build from there and, release another, find another 1,000 seats in the ground where you can then add another 1,000 members or whatever it may be. Because, I mean, when I watch the A-League, I guess I really enjoy, watching games like Adelaide United, for example. It's just always buzzing, isn't it? It's small, it looks packed, the fans are right up against it. And it's been the same when, Brisbane and Sydney FC have taken their games, into the suburbs. So I think that's what we need to do. I know it escapes me now, but there's a team in the MLS in America where they had newly formed team. They had 60,000 people sign up as members, and they had a stadium of 70,000, but they only released 30,000 tickets to each game, even though they could get 60,000 in there. And they did that for the first, 5, 6, 7 years of them being around. And, every year, or after 3 or 4 years, they started to release another 10,000, seats in their stadium. And, that club now is just packed week in, week out. So we just need to create that demand, I think.
And speaking of the MLS, like you go on YouTube and there's so much material there, but they've really worked on developing their fan culture, and something that we had going for us up until a few years back, which we just seemed to get rid of. And now it's going to take so much longer just to get that back. But speaking of the A-League, we got a progress score from up in Newcastle. Actually, the game is being played up in Sydney. Newcastle 0, Wellington Phoenix 0, and we just gone on 43.5 minutes. So look, it's still anyone's game there, and Newcastle could quite easily, if they cause an upset here, Western United still in with a chance of progressing as high as third spot on the ladder. But George, we're going to stay on. We're going to now bring on our last guest for tonight, last but not least, and she's a relative newcomer or her family is a relative newcomer to the club. But, we're going to hear firsthand the experiences of a first-year family at George Cross, and their little one is playing at the in the under-8s. But we'll let JIHANNE Anastasasiadis tell us all. A big welcome to JIHANNE, who joins us now as well. And JIHANNE, welcome to the Football Out West show. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for being a part of tonight's show.
Hi, guys. How are you? Thank you very much for having me.
Now, Gian, this is your first year, so do tell us, how did you decide to come to? How did your family decide to come to? And the surname is so big that I've actually had to take the guest bit out because otherwise Anastasiadis wouldn't be able to fit in the little caption there. But how's the Anastasiadis clan experienced George Cross as a first-year family?
Look, this is his first year at George Cross. We were fortunate to have come to the club when the bistro first opened last year. And we did bump into Victor, and I know he's one of the VIPs in the club, and he took the time out. He didn't know us from above soap. He gave us a tour of the club, just made us feel at home then. And so when it came to the trials, I think October last year, we got him to try out, and here we are, of course, this year. And we just feel at home. We haven't been there for long, but I've gotten to know George, Mark, Liza, Michelle, some of the coaches as well. And he loves it too, and he's made some, amazing friends so far. And
And how's he loving the soccer? Little Nicholas, is it? How old is he? Eight?
He turned 8, so I'm on the 3rd of July. So that was in our lockdown because we're in Taylor Lakes. Yeah. So we had the suburb lockdown, which was a bit of a upset to him, knowing that some of the team could go to training and we couldn't. So I had to try and explain it to him. So look, and then before we knew it, this next lockdown. So And
how's he enjoying the football? Who's his coach? And tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that they're doing, or they did with the youngsters before the lockdown.
His coach is Coach John. So for the under 8s, I believe it's the Wallabies. So it was just trying to get them to master the ball.
There he is. There's a photo of him.
That's Nicholas there. So just trying to get them to understand the ball mastery, which was one important aspect of their training. Getting to, especially Nicholas being more the midfield, I think, defender, trying to defend the ball, pull out, and just trying to get them with their confidence as well in the game, and also to have fun as well.
Now, George, tell us at under 8, under 9 level, under 10, the mini roos, obviously, how structured is it for the kids? And part 2 of that question, the coaches, how well prepared do you get the coaches? How structured are their session plans and what you're not? So I take it there'd be a back end approach and an obviously a hands-on approach. Tell us a little bit about how you prepare the mini roos coaches.
Yeah, look, we're fortunate enough to have, secured some really good coaches in the mini roos space, and obviously very grateful for all their work. But look, we do have, an overall direction in terms of where we want to go, with our football development. And so the overarching structure is broken down, obviously, for each of the different age groups. And look, each age group has its own directives that they follow. A lot of it around the sort of under 7s, under 8s is literally just around, getting to get a feel for the ball and, manipulate the ball and try and get, lots of touches on the ball using different parts of the foot, and just sort of building that, initial technical capacity, I guess. So that's sort of where we start with that. But look, we do that in a fun and engaging way as well. So, it's done via a lot of, little games, little activities that all sort of feed into, our overall plan. So, that's essentially how we sort of go about it.
Very good. Jan, has young Nick got any school friends he might be recruiting to the club for next season, or any other siblings at home that might be joining next year?
Well, hopefully our girls will be joining next year. We did get the taste of the Little Legends last November, and we were shocked. Our daughter Angelica, who's in grade prep this year, she took a liking to it, and she's quite good with the ball. So yeah, she might be a future Matilda as well. So yeah, I'm hoping next year she'll be joining her brother. So
now,
how exciting.
Now, Gian, is young Nicholas there? Can we get him on the screen? Is he?
Try and get him. I know.
We're going to ask him a couple of questions if he's up
practicing.
for it. If he's up for it.
I'll go and see. Just one moment.
He might be a future Socceroo. Who knows? You know. Yeah. We'll just get you off screen there as we see. But we might have a future Socceroo there in our midst. We want to ask him a couple of questions. But George, that must be just heartwarming to you when you see, a first-year parent just really praising the club so much. And it was really by accident, but it was the hospitality and good old Victor. I take it that's Victor Brincat that she's talking about. That just goes to show you that just normal, average, everyday members can in fact be such good ambassadors for the club, and to have people like that. You've now got one kid who's involved. You may have another one next year, possibly a third one, and they're going to go off and tell their school friends and what you're not. It must be just a reflection on the great program that George Cross is running.
Yeah, Jihanne and her family have obviously fit in very, very well. She's just, her and the whole family, just a bundle of joy, a bundle of positive energy. Like every time you see them at the club, it's never negative. It's always just positive and happy and encouraging. And, it's fantastic to have people like that coming to the club. And look, and these are the people that we want to look after, obviously. And she's come in at under eights level, and obviously we look to nurture, get them to align with where we're going as a club. And so a lot of work is done in that space. But yeah, look, there's young Nicholas there now.
Hi, Nicholas. I reckon we may have a future Socceroo here. Hi, Nicholas. Welcome to the Football Out West show. How are you?
Good.
Now, mate, tell us. My name's Tonci. I look big and scary and what you're not, but we're all really, really friendly. Nicholas, tell us what's been some of the things that you've most enjoyed about playing at George Cross this year. And look, he's even got his tracksuit on. Oh, how good is that?
What do you come on? What do you like doing?
I reckon. Correct me if I'm wrong. I reckon you love playing on that fantastic grass, huh? And what we're going to do is we're going to show that pitch again that Liza sent us. Look at that grass. Nicholas, tell us what's it like playing on that grass. It must be awesome for an 8-year-old to play on that sort of surface, huh?
So like Messi?
Yeah, you feel like Messi?
Yes, it's
Who's your favourite player? Nicholas?
Who is it? You do know.
Dad? Oh, did you say Dad? That's okay. That's okay.
Doesn't take after mum. Doesn't take after mum.
You got him there. That's a good start. So, no, very well done.
We don't need to tell.
No, that's all right. No, he's a great kid, and he's got a smiley face. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it, Gian?
Yeah, that's right. As long as he's doing what he loves, and when he does play, he's smiling. So that's what any parent would want. So yeah.
Absolutely. Now I'm sure before the end of the year we will return in some way, shape, or another. But the thought of maybe attending training when the weather's a little nicer, be it late spring or summer, certainly is probably a little bit more what's the word? More attractive than coming in the middle of winter. Am I not wrong?
Yes, I totally agree.
You've got to look on the bright side.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. Gian, thank you very, very much for joining us. Any last words for either George or for the rest of the George Cross family, Mark Sultana, LIZA JURIC, or even Nicholas's coach?
Look, of course, as everyone, we're all in the same boat. We do miss the club. We miss, annoying George for sometimes I'm always asking him a few questions. Liza, I'm always on Facebook with her. Mark, a lot of the coaches as well. We do miss everybody. Just even talking to the parents and, just watching our boys play or girls, it's just that family bond that we've all made in the last few months. And, we just can't wait to be back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can see that there would be thousands and thousands of mums and dads around Victoria who absolutely echo your sentiments there. So good on you, Jihanne.
Thanks very much, guys, for having me.
Thank you, young Nicholas, for coming on and showing his face. And it was absolutely fantastic. He's got his George Cross tracksuit, so it's absolutely great to see.
No, thanks very much, Tonci. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, George.
Love your work, Jihanne.
That's all right. See ya.
Good on you. That was Jihanne Anastasiadis joining us tonight. So really thank her for doing that. And George, to you as well. Any last words? Thank you very much for joining us, by the way.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for having us. Look, stay strong, everyone. What are we now? A week and a half into, the 6 weeks of this second lockdown. Numbers did look a little bit better today. Let's hope they continue to improve. And, we've been here before. We've got out of it. I'm sure we'll, get out of this second lockdown as well. And we'll be all back doing what we love to do. And, big shout out, obviously, to, all our members, all our players and parents, our volunteers. And I know, they're all itching to get back. I'm sure we'll get back soon enough. And a big shout out to my friends in the lads pad as well, who are pretty keen on getting back to playing some sort of summer sevens type football, which is always good fun. So hopefully we've got that to come back to soon as well.
Absolutely. Good on you, mate. Much appreciated, and look forward to catching up with you on the other side, as they say.
Pleasure, guys. Stay safe and love your work with the show. Well done.
Thanks, George.
That was Jorge Gero, the technical director of George Cross. Mate, this Sunday it starts. The Hopheads Football IQ Quiz. Game 1, Sebastopol Vikings and Williamstown. Can't wait for that. We're going to put up the fixtures. There's the fixtures, actually. So we'll pop the fixtures up there. Take us through the fixtures for these games. Should be absolutely awesome.
Following on from Sebastopol and Williamstown on Thursday, this time next week, it will be Hoppers Crossing versus North Geelong, and then followed by on the Sunday, St Albans Saints versus Meadow Park. The following Thursday, Collingwood City, Brimbank Stallions, followed by the Sunday after that, Barwon versus George Cross, and that will be followed by, we've got Melbourne Knights and the Gospich Bears, the All-Croatian Battle, Altona Magic and Yarraville Glory, and last but not least, Corio and Sunbury United. So 8 big ties there coming up.
And the man on your screen is the man that George Cross fans want to know about. He's the newest superstar, or will be the newest superstar. That's Kieran Ferrugia. Big shout out to Kieran. He is going to be George Cross's representative in the Football IQ Quiz, the Hopheads Football IQ Quiz. Kieran will be involved in match day 5 when he takes on Barwon. So that's a Sunday night, 30th of August at 7 p.m. Steve, this is a great concept, and it is going to be really, I think it's going to be absolutely so much fun. And I for one, cannot wait for Sunday. You and Craig will be heavily involved in it as quiz masters and I'll be behind the scenes a little bit like I am right now, sort of behind the scenes, but I'm looking forward to that. There is smiling assassin, Kieran Ferrugia. No pressure, says Peter Couchy. But, mate, we're going to make an absolute star of him. Sunday night, Sebastopol Vikings versus Williamstown. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic. Vikings, a Ballarat-based club, and Williamstown will be represented by their president, Vlad Babic. So that all kicks off at 7 p.m. on Sunday night with the Football Fan Zone. So, mate, that's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it?
It's going to be huge. Can't wait for it. And a big thank you to Hopheads for stepping in and supporting what is a excellent innovation by you guys, yourself and Craig. So, looking forward to being a part of it.
Yeah, no, it should be absolutely fantastic. Mate, thank you for being a part of tonight's show. Really, really appreciate it. It's been, gosh, it's gone for ages. We've gone well over 90 minutes, so it has been so much fun. And well, we've got a score update at halftime before we leave. Guess what? Guess what, mate? The scoreline reads: this is the A-League fixture. Wellington Phoenix 0, Newcastle Jets 1. Yes, Nick Fitzgerald scoring a goal in the 45th minute. So Western United's dreams of finishing as high as third on the ladder is looking really, really good. And yeah, mate, it's looking forward to Sunday. Should be fantastic. Once again, thank you very much for yourself for stepping into the hot seat tonight. Geez, I tell you what, Filer's going to have to work very, very hard on the training track this week to be able to get back. You've done an exceptional job tonight, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate. Something just cut out there, but I heard the all-important part, the word exceptional. So thanks very much. And I'm looking forward to going and watching the second half of this game between the Jets and the Phoenix.
Good on you, mate.
Look forward to West United's game on Saturday as well.
Absolutely. On that note, on behalf of everyone here, thank you very much for joining us tonight on the Football Outwear show. It's been a very, very good and informative show. Appreciate it. Until Saturday night when we do our pre-match and post-match shows with the Western United games, and obviously Sunday night's Football Fan Zone and the kickoff of the Hopheads Football IQ Quiz. It's bye for now.
George's on Vista is the local bistro at Fraser Rise in Caroline Springs, situated at the George Cross Soccer Club at City Vista Reserve. With the current COVID-19 pandemic, we've adjusted our menu and our business times. You can now get takeaway Friday and Saturday nights between 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. You can phone your order through on 7021 0555 Friday and Saturday nights between those times, or you can pre-order your meals by emailing info@georgiesonvista.com.au. But orders must be received by 5 p.m. on the day required.